Hello and welcome everyone. Today's lecture on UK taxation for business and individual. In this session, we will discuss an important aspect of communicate taxation information to all relevant stakeholders. So my name is Yasir Gulfraz. So if you have any issue, concern, or or just do let me know, and I'll try to sort out for you. So can you, before I start my lecture, can you hear my voice and can you see my screen properly? Any
Yes.
issue, Ganesh or anyone else if is there? Okay, it's a recap. We discussed in our previous lecture, PPCIO, professional behavior, professional competency, and due care, CPD, competency and capability, confidentiality, integrity, objectivity, parent subsidiary, associate, simple capital gain tax. So just will quickly go through PPCIO, which stands for professional behavior, professional competency, and due care, uh, confidentiality, integrity, and object. These are basically fundamental principles that guide professionals in various fields, including accounting, law, medicines, and many others. Professional behavior refers to conduct, expected of individuals in the professional roles. So this includes acting ethically, honestly, and responsibly, and maintaining high standard of conduct and conduct at all times. So indicative contents, we will discuss about shareholders, employees, potential investors, stakeholders, basically to include shareholders, employees, potential investors, directors, managers, suppliers, uh, uh, customers, lenders, government, analysts, HMRC, uh, communication to include emails, reports, letters, memorandum, meeting notes, face-to-face communications, understanding of the information to any, analysis completed. So explanation of assumptions made when providing a client with informations. So here again, income tax, we will discuss the standard income tax rates applicable in the UK. Individuals are subject to different tax rates based on their income levels. The basic rate is applied to taxable income ranging from uh, £1 to 37,500 of a rate of 20% income between income between 37,500 and 150,000 pounds fall under the higher rate. So we discussed previously as well. So uh, up to 150,000 falls under the a higher rate tax at 50%, while income exceeding 150,000 is taxed at an additional rate of 45%. Furthermore, specific rates are applied to dividends. Dividend income incur a tax of 7.5%. For basic rates, taxpayer 32.5% for higher rate taxpayer and 38.1% for additional rate taxpayer. So there is also a dividend nil rate based of £2,000. So uh, now important allowances and factors. So uh, the personal allowance, which denotes the amount of income exempt from tax, stands at £12,500. Okay. However, this allowance may be reduced for individuals with adjusted net income surpassing £100,000, and it essentially entirely phased out of those with adjusted net income over £125,000. Uh, Again, residential status, we discussed almost all of our previous lectures, is very important consideration, dictating an individual tax obligations in the UK. So this status hangs on the number of days spent in the UK and individuals connections to the country. So here you can see breakdown spending fewer than 16 days in the UK automatically, designate someone as non UK residents. Spending between 16 and 45 days in the UK may not inherently establish residency, but specific ties to the UK could alter this status. Individual spending 183 days or more. So in the UK, are automatically classified as residents. So this presence of UK ties also impact resident status for instances for intense possessing four or more UK ties results in residency. So that's it. Last one, child benefit income tax changes. This applicable to individuals with income ranging from £50,000 to £60,000. Within this income bracket, a 1% charge of the child benefit received in imposed for every £100 of income exceeding £50,000. Again, core benefits percentage. Uh, Here, relevant base level of CO emission is 95 gram per kilometers. So if your company provides you with a car emitting 95 gram of CO uh, per kilometer, falling within the emission range of 50 to 100 gram per kilometer for certain petrol or diesel cars, tax changes are determining as follow, as you can see here. Emission up to 50 grams, 16% tax change. 51 to 75 gram, 19%, then 22%, and 90 grams in, per kilometer will be 23% tax changes. So, for tax calculation purpose, the base value is 24,100 pounds. The applicable car benefit percentage is then applied to the this base value to determine the taxable amount. So, company van benefits. If a company provides a van, two separate changes may apply. A fixed a fixed amount, in this instance 3,430 pound, and the fuel benefit is 655 pounds. So then is ISA or individual saving accounts. Individual saving accounts are tax efficient saving accounts with a maximum investment limit is 20,000 pound per tax year. Investment within this limit grow tax-free, exempt from income tax on interest or capital gains. Property income for individuals owing uh, owning residential properties and incurring financial costs such as mortgage interest, tax relief may be available. 75% of these finance costs can be deducted from rental income before tax calculation, known as the basic rate. Restrictions applicable to the basic income tax rates. Pension scheme annual allowance The maximum annual allowance for pension contribution is £40,000 with a minimum allowance set at £100,000. Oh, sorry, £10,000. Uh, it is important to consider an income limit of £150,000. So the maximum contribution can be qualify for tax relief without any earning is £3,600. Uh, just give me a second, Hanesh, okay?
So,
Yes, hello.
hi.
Hi, Hanesh. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just, my net was a bit keep breaking, so I was just.
Okay.
Yes, hi, Kamal. Are you okay? I think so. Is Yes, important announces applicable to financial matters in business. So here is a pension schemes. There are annual limits of contributions. The maximum annual allowance for per pension contribution is 40,000 with a minimum allowance set at 10,000. Then income limit is £150,000. So additionally, for individuals without any earnings, the maximum contribution eligible for tax relief is capped at £3,600. So then again, approved mileage allowances, cars up to 10,000 miles, 45p per miles, and for mileage exceeding this threshold, the rate decreases to 25p per mile. So now we'll talk about capital allowances, rate of allowances. Uh, for plant and machinery, the standard allowance is 18%, while the item in the special rate pool it's 6% when it comes to motor car, the allowance rates vary based on the CO emission. So cars emitting up to 50 gram per kilometer qualify for 100% allowance. Cars between 51 and 100, 10 gram per kilometers, 18%, and CO emission over 110% per kilometer, 6% allowance. Uh, can you see my screen? Can you hear voice? All good now, Ganesh?
Yes, I'm okay. Can see, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I think so. There is issue with Kamal, but not from my end. Can you hear me, Kamal? Okay. Uh, right. Capital gain tax is imposed on the profit earned from selling or disposing of an asset that has increased in value. So currently there are two rates: lower rate for basic rates taxpayer and a higher rate of additional rate taxpayers. Individuals can earn up to £12,000 annually before capital gain tax applies. Entrepreneurs Relief and Investors Relief offer a reduced capital gain tax rates uh, of 10%. So, with the lifetime limit on qualifying gains, and then national insurance contribution or NIC are payment made by both employees and employers to support state benefits. Employees' national insurance are recognized into different classes based on income levels. Class 1 national insurance for employees range from nil to 12% for income between £8,633 and £50,000. It is, if anyone can anyone can tell me, Hinesh, obviously, Kamal said his mic is not working. Okay, no problem, Kamal. Hinesh, it is gone down to 10% or still is any changes so far? I think so from 1st of April, national insurance number is changed now.
Yeah, the rate has been reduced.
Yes.
Um, so I'm not sure if it's 10%, but for the sake of this course and assignment, do we refer to the new rate or do we
No,
refer
you can use same rates because they basically this is a we'll use as an example. You know what I mean? Okay.
okay, for reference then, if we
Yeah. So
use a different rate, then we
yeah,
just
the rates are
put,
gone down to I think so 10%. I was just to update your knowledge or for my knowledge, rate is 10% now. Uh,
yeah,
as
Jeremy Hunt had uh,
yes.
proposed that and it's part of the
Yeah.
budget.
So I think so they're applicable from 1st of May. I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so. Or it's gone down to 10%. Okay. So national insurance for employees range from nil to 12% for income between 8,633 and £50,000 and 2% of income above £50,000 and £50,001. Employers class 1 national insurance stands at 13.8% with an employment allowances of 3,000 to reduce liabilities. Self-employed individuals pay class 2 and class 4 national insurance contributions. A rate of interest assumed. Interest rate influence rate payment with the uh, with payment with official rate currently set at 2.50%, 2.50% for various tax calculations. HMRC changes a 3.25% interest rate for updated tax and offer a 0.50% interest rate on overpaid taxes. Again, as we discussed previously, penalties and errors. Uh, standard penalties for tax filing errors vary based on taxpayer behavior, ranging from simple mistakes to deliberate actions. Penalties can reach up to 100% of the tax due for deliberate and concealed behavior, with minimum penalties of 30% for unprompt disclosure and 50% for prompt disclosure. Right now, we are here. Communicate advice and information is in an appropriate format for all relevant stakeholders. So here we will discuss the stakeholder analysis, a fundamental aspect of organizational strategy formulations. So stakeholders are essentially group or individuals who have an interest in or expectations of what the organization does. So understanding the needs of these stakeholders is important for any organization as strategic managers. So it is our responsibility to grasp the significance of the relationships we have with stakeholders and how they contribute to the overall well-being of the organization. By assessing the expectations of stakeholders, we can determine whether our objectives align with meeting their demands. So, in a sense, stakeholders analysis helps us gauge whether our organization's goals are aligned with the needs and expectations of those who have a stake in our activity. So, this understanding enables us to tailor our strategies in a way that satisfies the diverse interests and requirement of our stakeholders, ultimately contributing to the success and sustainability of our organization. Classified of stakeholders. Uh, it is essential to understand how they can be classified into different groups. Stakeholder fall into three broad categories: internal, connected, and external. So, internal stakeholders, these individuals or groups are closely associated with the organization, and the objectives carry significant weight in shaping its operations. Internal stakeholders include so employees. Uh, these are individuals who work within the organizations. Their needs and expectations often involves around factors such as pay, working conditions, and job security. So, if employees are given more responsibilities, they may expect increased compensations. Then, managing directors, these are individuals responsible for overseeing the organization's operation and making strategies decisions. So, their objectives typically encompass factors like status, uh, pay, bonuses, and job security. If the organization is expecting growth, managers may seek increased profit, leading to higher bonuses. Understanding the perspectives and expectations of internal stakeholders is important for effectively managing the organization and aligning its strategies with the needs of those closely involved in day-to-day operations. Next is connected stakeholders. Any idea about connected stakeholders? If anyone can, Hinesh, if you have ever heard about connected stakeholders, so
Yeah, anybody who has a direct interest in the organization and has vested in the organization either by trade or by having a shareholding, an ownership, partial ownership of a company.
yes. Yes, you're right. Everybody who can seen as having a contractual relationship with the organization, the primary objective uh, is to here is to satisfy stakeholders, which is considered the main goal that the organization's management must fulfill. So uh, it is also important to meet the objective of customers and financiers, as well as for company to thrive. So connected stakeholders and their needs or expectations, include, if you look at here, stakeholders, they seek a, steady flow of income, potential capital growth, and the continuation of the business. For instance, if the company requires capital of expansion, stakeholders may expect an increase in dividend payments. Then customers, their satisfaction relies on receiving value for money products and services. Any attempt to enhance quality or increase prices may lead to customers' dissatisfactions. Then suppliers, they expect to be paid promptly to maintain a smooth business relationship. For example, delaying payment to suppliers to manage cash flow may result in them ceasing to supply goods. Then, finance providers, they expect the company to repay loans, including interests, and provide security for their investments. So, the firm's ability to generate cash is important for meeting these expectations. Understanding and addressing the needs of connected stakeholder is vital for maintaining positive relationship and ensuring the organization's continued success. External Third one is external stakeholders, which encompass in entities such as the government, local authorities, and other external bodies. So this group holds diverse objectives and degrees of influence in ensuring that the organization meets their goals. Uh, External share stakeholders and their needs or expectations include community and at large environmental pressure groups, government, and trade unions. So, community at large, the general public can become stakeholders, particularly in their lives are impacted by the decision of the organizations. They may expect the organizations to operate without causing them to the external environment. Then environmental pressure group. These groups advocate for environmental conservation and expect organization to conduct their activities in a manner that does not harm the environment. For example, if an airport plan to construct a new runway, pressure group may protest against it. So then for government, the government plays a significant role in regulating uh, organizations to ensure compliance with legislation such as health and safety regulations. Uh, Also, companies are expected to contribute to the economy by providing jobs and paying taxes. Finally, trade unions. These unions represent for interest of employees and others seek to activities participate in decision-making process within organizations. For example, if a department is slated for closure, the union will demand consultation and assistance for affected employees to find alternative employments or opportunities. Stakeholders conflicts. Uh, Here I will talk about stakeholder conflict, which are when the needs of expectations of different stakeholders clash. Some typical example of conflicts include, here you can see that employees versus managers, customers versus stakeholders, general public versus shareholders, manager versus stakeholders. So conflict, job, wages versus bonuses, cost, cost efficiency. So this conflict often resolve around issues such as job security, wages, bonuses. Employed may prioritize stable jobs and the fair wages, while manager may focus on cost efficiency and maximizing bonuses. Next one is customer versus stakeholders. Customers may prioritize product quality and service levels, while shareholders may prioritize maximizing profit and dividend. A conflict may arise when decisions that benefit one group negatively impact the others. Then general public versus shareholders. The general public may be concerned about the environmental impact of a company's operations, while shareholders may prioritize financial returns. Then managers versus shareholders, growth versus independence. Managers may prioritize long-term growth and sustainability, while shareholders may focus on short-term, financial gains. Any question, any issues?
Yeah, regulatory conflict, is that uh, direct or indirect conflict?
Which one is it? Sorry, here.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. It's not showing. So with banking, the Financial Conduct Authority, they would, or the PRA,
Oh,
who,
yeah, you mean FCA and PRA.
yeah, if where would they be considered stakeholder conflicts as well?
Yeah, they are stakeholders and conflicts, and that's a direct conflict, the direct impact and direct conflict.
Okay, so regulatory or
Yeah, regulatory.
direct. Okay, thank you.
Then resolving conflict. There are a number of ways of resolving stakeholders conflict, include the following Cast and March suggest 4 ways to resolve conflicting shareholders objectives. So, any comments on this, Hinesh, or
I've never come across this uh, part of learning before, so it's new to me.
okay? So,
I'm okay.
yes,
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
okay. Yes, so basically, this involves negotiation between the stakeholders to reach an acceptable, compromise rather than aiming for an ideal situation that satisfies all party completely. So, satisfying seek to find a solution, uh, you know, solution that satisfied all parties completely. Management focus on addressing stakeholder needs one at a time in sequential, manners. For example, employees may receive a pay rise with the understanding that further increase may not occur for a few years. Encourage Encouraging them not to expect immediate additional, raises. So then a side payment when a stakeholder's primary objectives cannot be met, they are compensated in some other way. For example, if a local community opposes the constructions of a new factory due to potential pollution and noise, the company may build local sports facilities to appeals them. Exercise of powers in cases where a deadlock cannot be resolved through negotiations or compromise. A senior figure may use their authority and power to force through a decision. So this decision is typically based on the authority or influence by the senior figures. So these strategies provide different approaches for organizations to manage and mitigate conflicts between stakeholders. Understanding these methods can help organizations, navigate complex stakeholders dynamic and find resolutions that balance, competing interests effectively. So resolving conflicts. So, Menlo developed a matrix to assist managers in classifying stakeholders based on their power and interest levels. So, this qualifications helps managers identify and prioritize stakeholders for engagement and managements. Recommendations for managing different stakeholders group can then be tailored based on their positions within the matrix. Mission statements. A mission statement is a written declaration that outlines the fundamental purpose of an organization and its broad direction. It communicates the organization's values and priorities, helping to resolve conflicts by clarifying priorities and goals to stakeholders. Very common corporate governance ensures that directors act in the best interest of shareholders rather than prioritizing their own interests. Corporate ethics often arises as conflict between stakeholders' interest. For example, concerns about pollution represent a conflict between maximizing profits for shareholders and conflicting the broader community impact, emphasizing ethical behavior and promoting corporate social responsibility can help address such conflicts and align organizational, fact actions with ethical principles. So here in detail, basically it's the corporate ethics is discussed in more detail. Here a topic of paramount important primary accountability, principal stakeholders, main methods of monitoring performance, governance, board structure, opens and transparency. So stakeholders, internal, external, and connected. So basically, primary accountability of large listed companies lies with their stakeholders and regulations. Principal stakeholders, shareholders, and regulators are the key stakeholders of these companies. Main method of monitoring performance typically involves financial statements and executives and non-executives directors appointed through formal process in line with government requirements. Then government base structure, these companies adhere to corporate governance requirements, ensuring transparency and accountability. Openness and transparency. Uh, Transparency is crucial with financial statement and government structure ensuring openness. Private company, private company, uh, uh, primary accountability private companies' primary answers to their stakeholders. Stakeholders, again, that as we discussed, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, and connected stakeholders. Note assumptions made and limitations of the information provided to stakeholders. So journal meetings, annual journal meetings, and extraordinary journal meetings. Anyone can explain me difference between annual and extraordinary journal meetings?
Yeah, annual general meeting, AGMs, are mandatory and carried out annually by the board to the stakeholders, usually invitations sent to shareholders who have the right to vote, and they usually take out during the AGM objectives and proposals, recommendations for voting. And extraordinary general EGM, where they are urgent meetings or meetings that aren't part of normal activity of the business, require an agenda to be highlighted and identified with urgency.
Yes, that's correct. Normally, that can be for any reason. For example, removal of director. Okay. So, and EGM does not follow a set timetable and is held as required. So there's no legal obligation to hold extraordinary general meetings. Like the annual general meeting, separate resolutions are required for each issue discussed. Notice of the meeting must be provided to shareholders at least 14 days in advance in case of extraordinary, general meetings. So all shareholders must be notified and have the right to attend the extraordinary general meeting. The agenda for a EGM is determined by the specific need for the meeting. As I said, uh, for example, removal of director. Effective communications, attribute and explanation. Uh, Here. Communication focusing on key attributes that contribute to successful communication practices in the business world, using appropriate formats in case of attribute, observing format conventions and house style, professional presented, technology corrected, clearly understanding, protecting and appropriate corporate image, and achieving its purpose. So, using appropriate format, selecting the right format for the task, uh, at hand is important for effective communication. So, this means choosing the most suitable medium, such as email, reports, or presentations based on the purpose and audience of the communications. Then, observing format conventions and house style. Uh, uh, Utilizing format correctly involves adhering to conventions of structure, format, and style within organizational guidance and house style consistency. Consistency in formatting ensures clarity and professionalism in communications. Then is comes to the professional presented. Documents should be neatly formatted, uh, uh, concise, and well structured. A professionally presented documents reflects competence and awareness of business needs, enhancing the credibility of the communications. Technically corrected, ensuring the content is accurate, appropriately details, and check for factual data and typographical errors. Clearly understandable communication should be tailored to the writer's purpose and the information needs, language, and capabilities of the audience. Uh, clarity, protection, the appropriate corporate image, reflecting a general image of professionalism and competence, including appropriate, formality and the specific desired image of the organization. So, last one is achieving its purpose. The ultimate goal of communication is to achieve its intended purpose. Obtaining feedbacks follows for the assessment of effectiveness, ensuring that communication successfully conveys the desired message and desired response. Message content. When planning communications, think about POS stands for uh, purpose, audience, structure, and style. Then case K keeps it short and simple. So, purpose, pause, consider the purpose of your communication. What do you aim to, achieve? Whether it's information or instructing, clarifying your purpose, guides the direction of your message. Audience, think about your audience, who you are communication with. Understanding your audience needs, preferences, and knowledge level helps tailor your message to resonate with them effectively. Then it's structures. Next one. Pay attention to the structure of your communication. How will your organization message to convey your points clearly? Structuring your communication logically enhance comprehension and engagements. Finally, style. Consider the style of your communications, how you will convey your message in terms of tone, language, and formatting. Adopting your style to suit your audience and purpose ensures clarity and impacts. Uh, then, case keep it short and simple. So, uh, keep your message concise and focused. Avoid unnecessary details or lengthy explanations. Keeping your message, uh, you know, uh, uh, s- uh, readability and comprehension. Uh, it mean keep your keep your message simple. Use clear language and avoid complex terminology. Simplifying your message makes it more accessible and understandable, for your audience. Short, keep your message brief, get the point quickly, and avoid unnecessary repetition. Don't repeat, what you want to say. So, keeping your message short, maintain the audience attention, and increase retention. So, simple, keep your message straightforward, avoid unnecessary complexity, or and keeping your message simple facilitates understanding and reduces the risk of misinterpretation. Any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, basically it's talking about, that communication, how to communicate with your audience and stakeholders. So obviously, about presentation, when planning communication, think about communications. Do you think, Ganesh, people think about these stuff, these things?
Yeah, first impressions, in order to make a judgment if it's worth valuing the content. That's human nature.
Yeah, if you remember that few years back, now people, email CVs for jobs, but do you remember that there was a proper format? Even when you post your CV page must be 90 grams. Have you ever heard about it? So that was the part of your communication.
No, I've forgotten about that. Can you remind me?
Yeah, I mean that that was a part of your communication. Your papers must be 90-gram paper, the thick paper. There
Ah,
was, not a simple, that a lightweight paper.
Yeah, photocopy of paper.
Yeah, so that was the part of your, that communications as
And
well.
it should be white
Yeah,
paper, not
yeah,
colored or designed with borders or anything like that.
yeah. Even still, when you write your assignment, you've seen that gap between two lines, 1.5 and side by side gap, and you know that so your
Yeah.
style, writing style, and stuff like that.
Margins.
Yeah.
Space.
So all of these are basically
But,
communication. Sorry, yes, Kamal.
sorry to say that we are not stopped to use the papers for friendly environment. So they motivate or don't use your letter, other things like the bank and other, institutions. No, they are nowadays they tell us, they advise us, use the paper as minimum as you can do. So no, it's a friendly environment.
Or is it? So but most of companies they discourage, that means do not use papers. You
Yeah,
know, you have you
Yeah.
seen? Yes.
Yeah, there is a policy at
Yeah.
my workplace to refrain from photocopying, to reduce the amount of printing, but also nobody's looked at the carbon footprint of the amount of electricity, the amount of exposure to light, which has an impact on the carbon emissions to produce the electricity, to build the devices, to use these pieces of equipment. Nobody's done the measurements or assessment of the impact these things and these approaches have. Yes, people have looked at paper and said not to use that, but then what kind of paper are you using? Are you using recyclable paper? Are you using paper that has been uh, used to be scrap and you're reusing the same paper, so that way you're reducing your carbon footprint? So there's 2 points of argument and not sufficient analysis or outcomes of the investigation has been done. So it can be biased.
Yes. Yeah, but they are still, that Kamal or Hinesh, they are still reducing use of paper. That try
Yes,
to reduce where they can,
yeah, to protect the
environment or that.
natural environment.
Yes.
But electricity is still being generated not by sustainable, but by using gas, by using burning of coal, by using uh, pollutant ways of burning wastage, which then creates heat and energy, and then transferred and converted into electricity. So these things are still happening and polluting our environment.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So next, yes, when planning communications, think about professionalism and corporate image. Legibility and neatness reflect the image of organizations, demonstrating competence, demonstrating regards for the needs of the user, displaying good designs features. Use of house style guidelines, corporate logos, specifically designed stationery layouts, colors, and typefaces. So basically, corporate. If I go, through the corporate images, your communication should reflect the image and values of the organization and represent aligning your message with the organization brand identify reinforces its reputation and identify in the eyes of the audience. So use of house style guidelines. House style guidelines means adhere to house styles guidelines established by the organization. This includes consistent use of corporate logos, specifically designed stationery, and prescribed layouts, colors, and typefaces. So consistency in branding reinforces the organizations identify and fosters recognition among stakeholders. So, by considering these factors when planning communications, you can ensure that your messages are professionally presented and aligned with the corporate image of the organizations. So effective presentations enhance engagement, credibility, and the overall impact of your communication efforts. Again, business languages, when planning communication, think about informal and formal. Obviously, you know that there are two main styles, informal and formal. So, uh, appropriate style for the organizations, tailor your communication style to suit the culture and norms of your organizations. Informal language may be suitable for organization that value a relaxed and friendly atmosphere. Then appropriate for the business relationships. Consider the nature of your relationship with the recipient. Informal language may be appropriate when communicating with colleagues or close business associates. A way to be invited to informal, friendly, personal, and uh, you know uh, first. So exercise discretion when adopting the informal tone. Wait for cause for from the recipient before using informal language such as friendly greeting or indications of familiarity. Friendly and personal informal language often involves using friendly and personal tones. uh, First name terms. So first name terms, uh, uh, you know, uh, including first name terms and casual expression that promote a sense of warmth and uh, 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 you know, comma, it's a formal basically. Use full grammatical sentences. Formal communications require adherence to grammatical rules and the use of complete sentence to convey professionalism and clarity. It refers to the address by title and surname. Address the recipient using their title and surname to convey respect and professionalism. Avoid using first name terms unless invited to do so. So avoid abbreviations, uh, slang expressions, uh, formal language familiarity, formal language necessities, avoiding abbreviations, slang expressions, unnecessary deviations from the main topic, and overly familiar language that may detract from the seriousness of the communications. Forms and method of communications, forms and method of communication. Any idea about forms and methods of communications?
No, I haven't come across this topic.
Okay, the various forms and methods of communication commonly used in both internal and external business contexts. So, forms of communications, internal communication with colleagues and line managers, internal communication within organizations involves interaction with colleagues and line managers. It should be characterized by politeness, promptness, and accuracy to foster positive working relationships and effective collaboration. External communications with customers and suppliers. External communication extend beyond the organization to interacts with customers and suppliers. It should be professional and align with the corporate image of the organization to uphold its reputation and enhance relationship with external stakeholders. Yeah, next is, letters. So here we are going to structure of reports, both formals and informal letters or reports. Reports are an essential, tool in business communication here. After letters, and here you can see reports. So if you write a letter, letterhead obviously use name and address, references, dates and year, name and address, solutions, heading, body of the letter, main body, complimentary clause, your faithfully, sincere regards, signature, names, job, and employer. So when comes to the reports, again, formal and informal. Reports are essential tool in business communication used to convey information, finding, and recommendations on various topics. So, title, summary, introduction, findings, conclusions, recommendations, and appendices. Then, informal, uh, day, title, and date, persons responsible for setting and preparing the reports, introduction, nature of the investigations, finding, results of the investigation, conclusions, and recommendations. So basically, by understanding the structure of both formal and informal reports, you will better equipped to effectively communicate information and insight to your audience in a clear and in a clear and respected or organized manner. So whether you are preparing a detailed formal report or for a corporate audience, or a concise informal reports for internal use. So adhering to these structural guidelines will enhance the clarity and impact of your communication. Emails. Any idea about email? Obviously, you guys, it's a day-to-day activities.
Yeah,
Kamal
yeah.
or
Even at work, there's policy on etiquette, uh, refraining from certain ways of communicating, especially with stakeholders.
yeah. Establish set of rules when writing an email. Subject short descriptions. You know that, and then CC carbon copy and blind carbon copy. So subject line of an email provides a brief description of the email's content. It serves as a summary or heading that helps the recipients quickly understand the purpose or topic of the email. Okay. CC short for, obviously that here carbon copy allows you to send a copy of the email to additional recipient, including recipients in the CC file. Notice them that they are receiving a copy of the email, but they are not the primary recipients. So blind copy, short for BCC, blind carbon copy, short of blind carbon copy, allows you to send a copy of the email to additional recipients without the other recipients knowing. So receive the BCC is often used to protect the privacy of recipients or to send mass emails without disclosing recipients' email addresses. So, any comments on this, Fasimile?
No, we no longer use
Yes, yes,
tax.
right. Most
Yes,
of, yes, yes, Kamal.
there is right, sir.
Yeah, it's basically we are talking about facts. You know that we are not using normally is not in practice. Anyone using now, Hanesh or Kamal, in your companies or where you work, anyone using?
Stopped using it a few years ago, and we even switched off the machine from the photocopier that has that function. We require everybody to now just simply be mindful of sustainability, carbon emissions, and footprint. So yes, it's reducing paper costs and cost of energy.
Yeah, but still, if you are sending fax, that header sheet includes header from to date, fax number, number of pages, and messages. But it's not in, yeah, you're right. It's not in practice nowadays. You know that because most of companies use emails and some other. Sorry.
Yes, sir, you are right, sir. Most of the companies are using the email now.
Yes, it's a more quicker than, and no paper. You don't need a machine and, use your personal computer and it's a quickest way to, communicate your, uh, sending papers and communicate your message.
I mean, there is still a use
Yeah,
for
it is
device.
in use, but it's not very common. You know what I mean? That
No,
it's not very common.
no, and for audit purposes, it can be valuable with the case of Enron, where they found the
Yeah.
document had been manipulated by the company in order to mislead the audit.
Okay, right. So next one is note, informal written note to pass on a message or instructions, including uh, name of persons, uh, name of person receiving the note, sending the note, time and date the note in written message, indication of action to be taken. So notes serve as a brief and informal written communication a method to transmit message or instructions between individuals. Uh, you can say messages as well, or also it is commonly used in workplace, schools, and other environments to pass on important information quickly and effectively. Components of a note. So message is main content of the note, which conveys the information or instruction that the sender wishes to communicate to the recipient. So indication of action to be taken, if applicable. The note may include specific directions or requests for the recipient to take certain actions in response to the message. Assess non-taxation factors applicable to individuals, stakeholders. Uh, Communications plays an important role in every aspect of organizations, operations, and activities. Uh, Additionally, effective communications factors positive relationship at all levels of the organizations. It is important coordinations and collaboration between managers, peers, and employees, leading to smoother workflows and better outcomes. Establishing and integrating good communications practice into the organization's culture promotes the free flow of information and ideas, facilitating successful, dissemination of information. Uh, for internal communication is transitioning to virtual platform due to the globalization of business and proliferation of digital communications tools. So these tools include, mobile telephones, video conferencing, the internet, and social media, which offer, unprecedented opportunities for communication and collaboration. Digital technology facilitates constant connectivity, ensuring that everyone within organizations remains in touch regardless of its size of structure, geographical boundaries, and enabling seamless communications among individuals working remotely. Internal communications uh, within organization. Internal communications refers to the sharing, exchanging, and importing of information and messages among individuals within the organizations. So this communication occurs, between managers and employees, as well as across different functions and departments. Internal communication takes various forms, including face-to-face interactions and remote communication. Review internal communications framework and process. Review involves assessing how employees currently receive and share information and evaluating the effectiveness of communication channels being utilized. It is, essential to involve employees in providing feedback on communication uh, practices. This can be achieved through mechanism that encourage constructive input and ideas for improving communications process. So by conducting a comprehensive review of internal communication framework and processes, organization can identify areas for uh, 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 improvement and implement strategies to enhance communications effectiveness. So select the right delivery channels. So here he's basically talk about various communication channels available to organizations and how to select the right delivery channel for different purposes. Uh, it is important to consider the pros and cons of each communication channel and utilize them appropriately based on the nature of the message and the audience. Face-to-face communication channel, uh, uh, including all staff briefing, team or departmental meetings, one-to-one discussions, presentations, workshop, focus groups, and team away days. These channels allows the direct interactions and engagement, fostering open dialogue and building reports. But they may require significant time and resources to organize, and they may not be feasible for large or geographically dispersed terms. Then remote audios like telephone calls, conferences calls, video conferences, uh, they provide a convenient way to connect with individuals or group regardless of their locations. So video conferencing adds a visual element to remote communications, enhancing engagement and understanding. Sorry. Sorry. But technical issues and scheduling conflicts may arise when using remote audio communication channels. So then paper-based newsletters, memos like bulletins, letters, reports, posters, flyers, brochures. Paper-based communication channels include these things. These channels offer a tangible and portable format for information dissemination. So they may be less environmentally friendly, as that we were discussing, and may not reach all employees, particularly those who work remotely. So finally, online communication channels, including emails, internet, social media platforms, and collaborative working tools. So these channels facilitate instant communications, enable access to wide audience, and support multimedia content. Uh, they require internet access and digital literacy skills, and information overload may occur if not managed effectively. So basically, by considering the strategies, strengths, and limitations of each communication channel, organizations can choose the most appropriate delivery channel for their communication needs. It is important to strike a balance between various channels to ensure effective communication with all, stakeholders. Which channel you will depends on a range of factors, including uh, this uh, this selection of communication channels within organizations. So the channels we choose to use, depend on several key factors. First one, we consider the size and location of the organizations. We consider the work environment of employees, or they office based, or do they work remotely. The nature of the information to be communicated also, plays an important role. Certain types of information may be better suited for specific channels. For example, complex data may be more effectively communicated through written reports, while urgent updates may necessitate real-time communications channels. By taking these factors into account, organizations can strategically select communications channels uh, that aligns with their objectives, optimize information dissemination, and foster effective communication among employees. For example, all staff, you know, uh, there is basically significant change in a strategic direction of restructuring initiatives. So it is important to ensure that all staff members are informed, regularly. In such cases, an all staff briefing or presenting would be appropriate to convey the information to everyone at the same time, promoting transparency and unity. When communicating changes that affect specific individuals, such as promotions, transfers, or disciplinary actions, it is essential to convey the information individually. So this can be done through a face-to-face meeting or written letter. So allowing for personalized communication and addressing any concern or questions effectively. Communication, the mission, vision, values, and strategy of the organizations. Uh, Here is talking about importance of effectively communication, the mission, vision, values, and strategy of an organization to its employees. So firstly, it is essential for employees to have a clear understanding of what the organization aims to achieve and how it plans to accomplish those goals. So this includes, articulating the missions, which outlines the organization's purpose and reasons for existence, and the vision, so which which its long-term aspirations and desired future state. Furthermore, employers needs to comprehend how their individual job roles contribute to overarching missions and strategy of the organizations. So by understanding the bigger picture, employees can align their efforts with organizational objectives and work collaboratively towards shared goals. Be aware of your legal responsibilities. Uh, it is important to recognize that while the specific communication practice may vary between organizations, there are certain legal obligations that apply universally to employees. So these obligations typically revolves around areas such as health and safety, restructuring, and redundancy. For example, we'll talk about the UK. There are specific regulation known as the Information and Consultation of Employment Regulation, or ICE here. So 2004. So these regulation mandate that organization with more than 50 employees must establish a formal consultation procedures when a sufficient number of employees request it. So additionally, large employers may be required to establish a European Works Council if a significant number of employees requested. So these legal obligations basically ensures that employees have a voice in matters that directly affect them, such as changes in the workplace, organizational restructuring, or health and safety protocols. Ensures consistent communication process and procedures. Uh, Implementing standard process and ensuring that everyone within the organization is aware of them is important for effective and consistent communication. This involves deciding how different types and levels of communication should be handled and establishing a framework that can be followed by the employees. For example, consider how updates on organizational performance, reports on success and achievements, strategies, adjustments, changes of personnel, major change initiatives, operational details, and company policies and procedures will be communicated. So it is important to consider how new employees will be given access to the information they need to fulfill their job responsibilities and integrate into the organizations. In addition to procedures for top-down communication, it is essential to implement process that enable employees to raise issues, ask questions, and provide feedback. While organization often focus on, cascading information downwards, equal attention should be given to facilitating upwards communications where employees can raise concerns and issues in a constructive manner. Communicate business performance, obviously keeping, you know, uh, most of companies do that. So it is also important to keep employees engaged and informed about how the organization is performing and growing. Employees should have ongoing awareness of whether the organization is meeting its target for expecting any shortfalls. While most employees may not require detailed financial reports, but essential to provide summarize that of offer a good review of the organization's performance. Meeting is coming together or assembly or people for a particular purpose, especially for discussion. Meetings can be formal or informal process, and they can involve many or a few peoples. So informal gathering meetings, in contrast to information sharing message, these sessions are focused on gathering insights, feedback, or data from participants. It is collaborative efforts to collect valuable input from team members. Then problem solving meetings, as you know, the name suggests, these meetings are uh, convened to address specific challenges or issues faced by the organizations or a particular team. Participants brainstorm ideas, analyze problems, and work towards finding variable solutions. Then decision makings and planning strategizing. So decision making meetings are important for organizations to make important choices of nominations. These gatherings involve discussions, deliberations, and ultimately reaching or making a final, decisions on a particular matters. Planning and strategizing meetings. These meetings are geared towards mapping out plans, strategies, or goals for the organizations. Participants collaborate to outline objectives, actions, plans, and set timelines to achieve desired outcomes. Why we have meetings? So meetings serve several important functions, like problem solving, uh, make a decision, develop a plan, gather or convey informations, get a response to informations, obtaining approval, reach consensus, establish understanding, clarify responsibility, create a sense of, teamworks. So, according to Body 2011, meetings can be more effective if certain practices are followed. Advanced planning meetings should be scheduled well in advance to allow participants to prepare agenda setting, uh, time management, documentations like decisions and actions, responsibilities should be recorded and circulated promptly after the meetings. Communications, they should keep relevant, subgroups or meeting members informed or progress and developments. So by following these guidelines, organizations can ensure that meetings are productive, efficient, and contribute positively to organizational objectives. Structures and roles of meetings. Meeting, first one, before a meeting takes place, it is customary to establish an agenda. The agenda serves as a roadmap for all participants, outline essential details such as the data, time, and location of the meeting. Additionally, it includes a list of attendances and any apologize for absence, the designated chairperson and the individual responsible for taking meeting minutes. Within the agenda, each item slated for discussion is identified along with the person responsible for leading the discussion on that particular topic. Guest speakers, if any, are also noted to the agenda. Towards the end of the agenda, there's often a selection labeled any other businesses, providing an opportunity for participants to raise additional topics not initially included in the agenda. Uh, Furthermore, the agenda typically concludes with the details regardless the time, date, and location of the next meeting. So it is advisable to uh, put input from participants when setting the agenda. This can be achieved through internal communication, allowing individuals to propose additional agenda items or raise any concerns beforehand. So this proactive approach enables, educates preparation time for all involved and ensures that sensitive issues can be addressed appropriately. Yeah, that's it for today. Here are for further reading, you can visit these websites, and also you can there are some material available on your learning management systems or Moodle. Any questions or concerns?
No, so far it's okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, Hanesh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for today's session. Was a bit longer than our previous lecture, but anyway, last lecture, is our next lecture is a last lecture on Sunday, next Sunday, 11:30 same time. So I'll see you on the Sunday, next Sunday, which is assignment discussion. Today is a today was a fourth lecture. I was thinking that is assignment, but it is not. So next is our last lectures, and thank you very much. For any questions, any concerns, issues, you can drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. So thank you very much, Hanesh, and thank you very much, Kamal.
Thank you very
So,
much.
okay, thanks everyone, and have a good day
Have a
ahead.
good.
Thanks very much, and bye for now.
Thank
Bye.